last night, 2 guys in masks jumped me and strapped a bomb to my chest. Now I have less than 9 hours to rob a bank.
Ring, ring. Oh, look, Bear's calling. Hello, Bear.
Wait, what do you mean you couldn't rob the bank?
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I like that bear. I don't even know you.
Is that thing real? And if I don't get them their money in time, this thing is gonna blow.
And your first thought was to come to a school filled with young children?
What do I do, Chen? What do I do?
I guess you gotta just rob the bank. It's gonna be okay.
No, it's not gonna be okay. I'm gonna blow up.
Come on! Get yourself together.
I think they should put bombs on all pizza guys. At 31 minutes, that shit blows up.
Yeah, but then you don't get your free pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up with
You're
that?
going to piss off a lot of people like,
and you think about the pizza that might accidentally land in your yard, a lot of is going to be pizza guy on it too.
You know what?
true.
At least my pizza be hot instead of cold when the guy there. And I don't mind coming to pick it up. You know, I should get like a tracking gauge on where they are when that shit blows up if it's 31 minutes
And
or
you
more.
have to check each slice to make sure that mushroom is not his ear.
Man, you're a pizza fascist, is what you are.
Yeah, I am.
You're like some kind of Little Caesar.
You see how he walks us into that shit?
I just keep walking.
just ignore it. Nothing to see here.
Shit, I'll take a
Pizza
pizza
the
with.
Hut.
What you talking about? That was. I think somebody already took that one.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll take a pizza with fingers and ears and whatever else if it's free. I don't mind. Hey, look, we've eaten worse pizza here in Austin. So
Okay, that's true. Mr. Gaddy's does take.
yeah, I'm gonna blow you up. You keep talking shit about Mr. Geddes.
What?
That's the best pizza in town, honest.
Hey, just because they said that in the ad, that don't make it true.
Just because you like eating cardboard, Corey, don't bring the rest of us in on your weird
Coming
little
from the man who
fetish.
likes to eat anything. Don't you talk about me, man. In fact, I'm gonna put a bomb on your ass, Leon, and make you go to Mr. Geddes and eat that shit.
You know what? If I blow up on Mr. Gaddy's, I'd be doing the world a favor.
Hey, that's all right. There's 10 more here in town I can go to.
So,
That's
imagine
why
that news interview. So was this politically motivated? It's like, no, I just fucking can't stand that pizza.
You guys, that's why I get DiGiorno.
Shit, you get DiGiorno, your ass blows up. You know what, man?
That's the best place for it.
Oh, I get it. So you're saying Mr. Gaddy's is diet pizza. Well, that explains a lot.
Hey, y'all stop talking about Mr. Geddes like that. That's some good shit.
That's shit.
I knew it. That was your freebie, okay? Yeah, shut the fuck up. No, you know what? I'm having some fun. I'm getting this off on a fun start right here because I have to say I'm gonna be sort of the joy kill here. I find the movie slightly offensive.
Offensive.
Offensive, really?
I do.
Okay.
Okay. Tonight, Corey's offended by every movie we're
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
baffled by this.
Yeah.
I think that this movie is racist, and I know, I don't know if anybody remembers this. And I was talking about this with somebody else. Maybe you do. Surely I'm not the only guy who remembers this story.
When you mean the real story of when it happened?
Yeah, there was a story a while back. A woman actually masterminded, one named Marjorie something, masterminded this whole robbery with 3 other guys where they took a pizza delivery guy, a guy who was like 40 something, strapped a bomb to him, put clues around town, and told him to go rob a bank to try to get $25,000, I think.
The old collar bomb.
Yeah,
caper.
no, it was the best thing. No,
Well,
it
they
wasn't.
call it the collar bomb.
Oh, was
because
it?
it was around his neck.
Oh,
and it was
shit.
near, and it blew up.
And it blew up, yeah,
And
he only got like $8,000, and then before the police caught him, and he was
Yeah.
begging them. And you saw a tape of it. I mean, that's what disturbs me so much because I mean, maybe everybody else saw it, but they showed the tape
Yeah.
of him fucking blowing up because he was begging for help, and the police like, fucking ain't getting
Yeah,
you.
and everything
sit your
about,
ass down.
Yeah, and everything about that story really resembles what this movie is.
Yeah, and Sony tried to come out and say, This is a coincidence. The guys don't know anything about this. I'm not
Bullshit.
Going to,
Well, no, the writers have said, look, of course we heard that story in the
Okay.
news, but we didn't go and research it and base our story around it. We just heard of it and went, hey, that's a funny place to start off from a comedy that's not based exactly on that.
That's what
Let
you
me tell
think.
I can tell you this. Prior to this movie, they did the same thing on the second season of Justified.
Yeah.
So you're mad at them too.
But Justified is probably a story that I never saw that episode, but maybe they did it because I've seen movies and shows where they've like taken a case from real life.
Yeah.
They do it on fucking
Law and Order.
Law and Order all the time. Yeah, but they they don't play it up for laughs like they did with this movie. And look, I know I'm not arguing with anybody. I know I'm going to be the unpopular guy here, but the thing about what you said about those guys was we didn't research this again. kind of full of shit because there were so many parallels to what this movie's about to what actually happened. So they did know. I mean, I'm not gonna say they researched it, but they did look at every detail.
They fucking know. Don't sugarcoat it.
Exactly.
They knew because number one, there is a prostitute involved.
Yeah.
There's a prostitute involved. There is a guy who's trying to get his father's inheritance.
Yep.
I mean, and obviously there's a guy who's a fucking pizza guy. If they wanted to make this about anything, they could have made it about a guy who delivers chicken.
Well,
I don't know, but
you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't. If they had been word for word what happened, I wouldn't care because this shit is funny.
And
I'm sorry, it's
that's
funny.
And that's the biggest problem with this movie for me.
We laugh at stuff that's inappropriate all the time.
Look, I'm not arguing, man. I say that
That's what we do.
I know. No, you know what? Like I said, that's the other thing about the film is just that. I thought it had some chuckles, but I just didn't find all that funny.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. But if your whole reasoning is just because it's based on a real thing, I'm like, that's not fair.
Well, I know. I am holding this. I mean, there's some part of me that's holding against the film, and I wasn't able to enjoy it as much. Saying like, wow, I find this personally disturbing. But
it is weird knowing that. I mean, it's weird knowing that. And the thing is, there was a case in Australia that was very similar to where people are wondering if when the idea of this movie came out, at least when it was told about it. There's a movie coming out about a guy who has a fucking bomb strapped to him. He's a pizza delivery. A case in Australia just happened not too long ago dealing with the same thing. But apparently the girl, just like that guy, a lot of people think that guy in that original bombing was in on the caper.
I read that they suspected he was in on it.
And the girl apparently I think was in on it too. But they're saying that what just happened in Australia reflected off this movie. Like it gave the person ideas to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I just, like I said, I know that there's a lot of people coming out saying this is really funny. And I'll explain why I didn't think it was all that funny. It has nothing to do with, that's personal for me, this whole story with the pizza guy. But
he just loves pizza that much.
I looked at that and I was like, man, that's a waste of a good pizza, boy.
It's a waste of good pizza and a good party. Pizza party. Hey, party.
Pizza party. No, you know what?
I don't know what that is.
If you can't
That's
tell
a game
already,
show.
Jesse Eisenberg plays pretty much a 20-something loser who hangs out, smokes
Wait
pot.
a minute. When does Jesse Eisenberg ever play a 20-something loser?
What a stretch.
Like his entire career.
No, come on now. He played the guy Mark Zuckerberg.
That's right.
That's true.
Sure. Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg made a lot of money, but personality-wise, he was a loser.
He's a billionaire.
He's a
ain't
dick,
he?
yeah.
You know what? Don't count as a loser in my book, boy. You
No,
got
he knew exactly what he was doing.
You got $1 billion. You did something right.
Yeah.
At the end, made clear he had no friends.
Fuck him. When you got money, who needs friends?
Do we count Facebook friends? But he plays a 20-something loser who, hangs out, smokes pot, and delivers pizza. Hangs out with his not as much of a loser friend. What's the guy's name? Is it Chet?
It's Aziz Ansari, the actor.
The comedian. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Chet.
Yeah, he plays Chet in the movie. Who, he's still sort of a slacker, but at least he got out and got a job. He's a teacher, and those two are best friends. They have a little scuffle, and Jesse Eisenberg thinks like, man, that's terrible. That just ruins my day. I had a fight with my best friend. We're not best friends anymore. Oh, well, let me go home but before I do that, before I go home and sulk about it, let me deliver this one last pizza and I can just call it a day and start the next day anew. Well, his last pizza delivery happens to be at a junkyard where you have these two guys dressed up in monkey outfits who have a plan to rob a bank, but they don't want to do it themselves. They don't want to get their hands dirty. So they pretty much they knock Jesse Eisenberg out, strap a bomb on him, and pretty much says, hey, you know what? You got 10 hours to go and rob a bank and get us. I forgot how much money it is. What is it?
$100,000.
$100,000. Yeah. And
because they want to get the money to pay an assassin to kill the rich father of one of the
guys.
McBride.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a convoluted plot that where the only way this is going to work is if the pizza guy is in on it.
Yeah, and he says, hey, you know what? 1 minute after that 10th hour, you don't got our money. I press this little button right here. If you don't have that code to like defuse the bomb, then we're gonna blow your ass up. So you get this comedy where Jesse Eisenberg has to get together back with his best friend and says, hey man, fucking help me get this bomb off of me by going and robbing a bank. Let's become bank robbers.
I mean, I think the vest is probably safe for now. I mean, these guys don't want me to blow up on accident before I get them their money, right?
So you figure the two psychopaths that put a bomb on your chest made sure it was safe. There's no margin for error in the bomb vest design.
I need your help, okay? I can't do this alone.
If I let you go and you explode, it'll come back and eat in my conscience and affect my relationships with other people. Like my future wife and kids. We having a picnic or something one day and I would just be like, damn it, I shouldn't have let Nick explode that time.
I do think there are moments where it functions well as a buddy film. You know, I mean, these guys they play the bumbling criminals pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not criminals. They're not
Yeah,
criminals. They're just thrown into
Everybody's
it.
a bumbling criminal.
Yeah, there are no successful criminals.
Not
in
Ben
this film.
Affleck.
No, I mean,
in this film.
Oh, in this movie. Oh, yeah, because we get Nick Swartzen and Danny McBride. Danny McBride is pretty much a spoiled brat of a army vet. Who's the army vet that's in this?
Fred Ward.
Fred Ward. Yeah, Fred
Remo
Ward.
Williams.
Remo Williams. Yeah.
Adventure finally continues.
And that guy's just a dick to his son. So Danny
His son
McBride.
is a complete dumbass and a waste of skin.
Well, you gotta wonder, like maybe his son had a chance, but dad wasn't riding his ass all the time, calling him a fucking loser and everything. But it's
He's great. He's great fucking playing the asshole dad. I mean, he is like if Chet from Weird Science became a father, that would be him.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he is an asshole dad because Danny McBride
he
is
is.
such an asshole son.
Yeah.
After a couple of years, you'd just be like, look, fuck you.
But which came first, the asshole or the age?
I know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Thankfully, there's no prequel movie.
All we know is that Danny McBride is like, you know what? I'm tired of this guy riding my ass all the time. I can't do anything to please him. You know what? He's rich. I'm just going, if I kill him, we get the money. We can do whatever we want to. We go run this town with $1 million, which ain't shit these days. So,
Well,
so-
it's a small enough town.
yeah, small. I guess so. You can buy that
To
town.
white
I
trash,
guess,
that's
with-
a lot of money. which I mean, it's no
Grand
joke.
Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah.
So you could buy that town for enough monopoly.
You can.
money.
Yeah, that town is pretty much a glorified trailer park, you know. But yeah, so he decides to we can't get caught. Let's just put the bomb on this pizza guy, and he'll kill my dad, and we'll be able to hire an assassin to kill my dad. Everybody will be fine, or whatever. I think that. I like Jesse Eisenberg. I like that Jesse Eisenberg is becoming more of an asshole in movies that we've seen instead of like sort of that Michael Cera clone that we thought he was. I actually like Jesse Eisenberg more and more. And I like him in this movie. The guy that I have a problem with is Aziz Ansari.
Really?
Wow.
Because I think, man, that guy is funny. I think that guy
he's
is hilarious. I think he is hilarious, and I think that he can deliver a funny line. But everything outside that, I don't think he's a very good actor.
Wow, I can see your point,
Okay.
especially early on in the film. It seems like it takes a while before the two of them really get their chemistry going. Like the early on scene where they're fighting at each other about the shit, they're revealing each thing that the other one has done to fuck the other person over secretly over the years is revealed. You're like, okay, this is not, it's supposed to be tense and it's not transforming. But that's really the only scene where they hate each other that much and where it's got to be dramatic. When they're just doing straight comedy, I thought he worked perfectly. His chemistry with Jesse Eisenberg, I thought, was hysterical. In fact, I think the best scenes in this movie are when the two of them are bitching at each other in the middle of a tense situation. I will even go so far as to say that it was that quality that reminded me of the 80s buddy action comedy films. They go so far as to bring in, was it a Glenn Fry song in the middle of a car chase sequence just to hammer that home. By the way, that's what this is supposed to be.
You know what? I have to say that I thought that out of all the action movies that I've seen in a while, I thought that was a good car chase.
Yeah, it was
a great scene. Yeah, and then that's the thing, like the buddy aspect of it works not only for Jesse Eisenberg and the Aziz character, but for the two
Nick
guys.
Swartzen and Danny McBride.
Yeah, those guys are great together, and that's kind of what really is driving this movie is the camaraderie between both of these idiots. You know, both of their groups, they can almost be like separate movies. And if you were to take one of them out, I think it'd still be entertaining because these guys work so well with each other, and just this whole like harebrained scheme. It's like it's one of those movies where one thing fucks up and it creates another situation, and the movie keeps going. And the thing is, it's funny. It's funny when these situations are happening because they almost seem like, yeah, this is exactly how I would fuck up if I was put in the same situation.
Some of the side
things
characters,
you don't think about.
Some of the side characters really add a lot to it too. Like the actual assassin who comes into town, played by Michael Pena, who's like, I don't know. He's got this weird affectation that he's doing that I can't really put my finger on.
It's not exactly a lisp,
Just almost kind of, almost a lisp, almost kind of cross-eyed.
It's a notch below a lisp.
I don't know what it is he was trying to do, but it makes him a memorable character in here, and I think he's really funny in the brief scenes that he's in, and well used as a character. And like I said, Fred Ward as the dad, he's hysterical. He was killing me in this movie. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I thought this was a very funny movie in the trailers. I felt like every funny joke was in the trailer, and watching the movie, I was just like, wow, I can't laugh because you've already shown me this. And what else is there? Like, I was like, okay, I see why it's called 30 Minutes or Less, because that's how long it took to write this. I mean, really, like you don't really get any dimension to any of these people. Like, I didn't feel like I really got to know them. Like, it's almost like a formula. Like, I see the trailer, and I go like, wow, I love Aziz Ansari. I love Jesse Eisenberg. I love Danny McBride. I love Nick Swartzen. And I've seen all these guys do so much funnier, better stuff separately in other things. It was like somebody put them together knowing like, hey, if I just get you guys together, you'll make the funny. And it's like, well, yeah, but you kind of got to write some stuff for him too. And like I said, the stuff I saw in the trailer, so funny. Watching it, I mean, I was excited. I was like, hey, it's Bianca Kalish, that chick I always lust after on that show. And oh, she's topless too. And now she's gone and not coming back.
Damn.
Oh, now
right.
she's back, but
Yeah, you know, maybe that's what maybe I shouldn't be so hard on Aziz Ansari, because I thought like the writing just wasn't great in this film. I thought like these comedic actors started with a good premise.
yeah,
And
it's a funny premise to
yeah.
build off of.
And
And
as
it's not
the
like they
movie-
don't do anything inventive or funny with it, but not
Well, and when I
that
say premise, I guess I mean the setup, because as the movie went along, that movie really petered out. Like by the time they got to Michael Pena, you know, I didn't think he was funny at all.
Oh, see, I thought he was really funny. I thought his scenes worked great, and they actually were. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the key thing for me is that I don't agree with you, co-host, in that with the Danny McBride, Nick Swartzen.
Fuck
character.
off.
I just thought they weren't funny, and every time that the movie's focusing on them, it just kind of drags because we've seen
It's
Danny
Danny McBride,
McBride
but he's doing
playing
his
Danny
shtick.
McBride a billion fucking times
Yeah.
before, and honestly,
thought that's the funniest
I
he
never
was.
really liked that character to begin with. It's just not my thing. I don't like that.
I love him on
that he
Eastbound
does.
and Down,
I know you do.
but seeing him in so many other things, I'm kind of like, yeah, kind
but-
of wearing this out.
I haven't liked him seeing him in any other things besides this, because I was like, okay, at least he's doing what he knows. But I thought that the lines that were written for him were hysterical, especially with him teaming up with his dumbass friend. Where every time they're on screen together, I mean, they made it work. I mean, I was really laughing throughout every one of their scenes.
At the same time, I liked the other characters, the other Aziz Ansari and Jesse Eisenberg's character. I felt like, all right, this is by Ruben Fleischer, the same guy who directed Zombieland, and it felt like his character was written similarly to that he's kind of just a normal slacker white kid, but he's not an idiot. He's just kind of not used to having to try that hard. And now suddenly he's confronted with a situation where, fuck, I don't know what to do. I got to rely on these people around me to help, and they don't know what the fuck to do either. And I think those sequences actually work. They sell. Yes, it's a familiar character for Eisenberg, but he really makes it work. And I think the dialogue written for him is much funnier than the stuff for the other guys. And thus why I liked it when you see him dealing with Michael Pena and actually managing to be competent in that situation. You cheer him on. You're like, yeah, it's fucking awesome. It got me into their characters and it got me rooting for them.
What it did, or rather didn't do, is something that annoys me in a lot of movies. Is like, I got no feel for what those characters did the day before or the month before or the year before. It's like I'm dropped into their life right now and I have no sense of who they are coming up to that point. And so when things are happening, the consequences just don't mean as much to me. It's funny because the movie kind of like, in what it is, reminded me of Pineapple Express, except I like Pineapple Express a lot better. I got bigger laughs from that.
I agree with you completely. It's a lot like Pineapple Express, except I thought this was funnier than Pineapple.
Yeah, I hated Pineapple Express, and this I thought it was way more hilarious than fucking that movie.
I did not like Pineapple Express either, and I thought that this was only slightly better than Pineapple Express.
We've got the
Thank you for helping me, Corey.
There we go.
Thank you for helping my point.
our new rating system, the Pineapple Express rating system.
And by the way, it's a shame because I love pineapples on my pizza too. So, but man,
Talk about a guy who'll eat anything. It's on a pizza.
hey,
Well, the
man,
thing-
that's not weird. Come on.
Well, the
now.
thing you're talking about is that you know you don't get a sense of these characters. Where I thought I didn't really feel like you needed to get a sense of it because the situation that's happening is this guy is about to die and he doesn't know when. So you really, I mean, the movie is fast paced, just as like I think it does. It serves the purpose of the story in the real time that this guy has only a certain amount of time to get this fucking bomb off him before he gets killed. And I think that everything that leads up to that and even after, I thought it worked. I mean, I just
We know-
really-
Okay, I can explain why that didn't work. It's because the two robbers, the ones who strapped the bomb to him, they come off as incompetent, like so much so, like such buffoons that I don't believe in the bomb. There's just not a time where I believed in the bomb.
No, I get that, and I actually agree with you. I had that same problem. I kept waiting for them to go, well, it was fake all along.
Yeah,
that's what.
But, because they're that incompetent. You're like, how could it possibly be real? But at the same time, it is trying to be a Pineapple Express type of film where it's like, okay, well, there actually shit is going to go down at some point.
Yeah, people will get killed. There'll be blood.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I thought, okay, so in answer to your problem with the characters, though, I think that's the key exactly to why those characters work for me, because there was no background. What you see is what you get. These are guys who lived in Grand Rapids, Michigan. There ain't shit. They did the same thing every fucking day of their lives. They're fucking working shitty jobs. They hate their day-to-day existence. And in some ways, this adventure they're going on is the best thing that's ever happened to them.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It didn't quite come across to me. But.
Well, it comes across. Well, at least I thought it came across through the Aziz character, because he's the one where he's very reluctant, to even be a part of it, because he knows the situation. He knows how stupid it is and how, wow, I don't want to fucking die. I thought through him, it's like, okay, yeah. You see him going, wow, now I'm living. I feel like I'm living.
I never got into that. But I agree. Like this is not only a rated R action comedy, sort of like in the vein of Pineapple Express was, or even something like slightly Beverly Hills Cop-ish in a way, but it's also it's a silly film. It's supposed to just be silly fun. You're not supposed to get a whole lot of background. The movie even doesn't go on for a full hour and a half.
It's pretty short.
Yeah, it's pretty short, and and so you could tell that they just want to make you laugh and get in and get out. So I'm not really holding a lot of development against the movie, except that it still feels underwritten, man. It's like they felt like they rushed it a little bit too much to get out. By the time they get to the end, and the way the movie ends, I thought was horrible. So I just didn't laugh as much as I thought I would. What you said, man, Leon, just by looking at the trailer, where I had a little more hope for this film. Even looking at it with the personal issues I had with it, I thought maybe I can see this, and despite how I feel, I would laugh at it. I still probably won't like it as much, but I'll be fair. And I'm being fair by saying I just found it chuckle worthy, not really all out funny. I'll give this a high rental.
I'm pretty much right there with you on my rating. For all the reasons I said. I mean, I'm feeling need to rag on it and beat it down. And the fact that you guys liked it, it's like, hey, well, clearly it has some merit. It's going to appeal to some people. But just for me, it was just one where I saw the trailer and I thought, man, I hope these aren't the only funny jokes, because they're not that funny, but there'll probably be some better stuff. But when it came down to it, it's like, wow, even the stuff I chuckled at was what I already saw. So yeah, a high rental.
Wow, I guess I liked it a lot better than you guys did, because this made me laugh not consistently throughout it. It took about 20-25 minutes before I was fully with it. I mean, hell, the first 10 minutes I thought we were in for a total bomb. I was like, oh boy, here we go. But it won me over completely, and by the end I was laughing steadily throughout it. I loved the end. I thought it was funny and well done. I thought it was a good action sequence. I ended up feeling the exact opposite as far as the trailer, because the trailer I went, could go either way. I guess it's kind of funny. And then I was like, wow, this is a movie I'd actually recommend to my friends. And so here's me doing that. This is a high matinee.
Wow. Okay. I'm the same way. I saw the trailer and I didn't care. When I saw the film, it went by so quick. And I thought the delivery of the lines and the jokes, they just made me laugh. It's not for everyone, I guess. A lot of my humor is not for everyone, but it delivered it for me. So I mean, I'm right there. I never do this, but I will give it a very high banding, because I was right there on full price, just because I honestly think people who are going to go see this just to laugh their ass off on the premise and just the characters involved. If you love these guys, I think they really shine as far as like what makes them funny people, where they can deliver the most mundane line and make it funny. But that's me. So I'm going to give it a very stupid high matinee.
See, you know what?
Even though I hate saying that shit.
See, I agree with that. I think they did deliver the most mundane line. What I disagree is that I thought it was still mundane when it was delivered.
Okay. I don't know how that helps me again, but yes.
you know what? I will tell you this.
I agree to agree with your
I do agree with you.
I agree with you. I just think you're wrong.
That's my nice way of saying you're full of shit.
Complete utter bullshit.
I will tell you what this movie did successfully. It made me want pizza.
Jesus, obviously.
Well, this review is going to make you want.
I could say the help made me want fried chicken. But, I don't know how that helps the review.
All right, I'll go build the bomb.
Oh, you talking about putting a bomb on the actual pizza guy when he gets in?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll build a bomb, put it on the pizza guy, so that way you get your pizza and another $100,000.
Man, by the time the pizza guy got here, this apartment would be in rubbish. It would be on fire. We blow ourselves up. What are you talking about? He drive up and a 7 head would fall on the hood of his car.
They need to put a rocket on a pizza guy because that's about the only way these days you can get a pizza.
Yeah.
It's a breeze.
Run into a bank with a bomb and take all the money and then leave and then go back to work.
Don't make a big deal out of it, all right?
Spinning the guns, spinning the guns, spinning the guns for the bank robbery. Cause we go in with our plastic guns and the cops will shoot us in our face.